This is The Space Shot, episode 176 for November 6th, 2017. SpaceWorks. Hey everyone, welcome to The Space Shot, your daily space history, pop culture, and news fix. I'm John Molnix. Earlier today, I spoke with Jim Remar for the upcoming interview for the December edition of the Cosmosphere podcast. We talked about Apollo 8 and 17, as well as some commercial space flights that have been happening in the past couple years. After our conversation, we toured the SpaceWorks facility that's located in Hutchinson, and it was fantastic. My dad and I got a tour from Jim, and we were able to get up close with some very significant artifacts. One of the coolest is a turbopump from an F-1 engine that was used on an Apollo mission. I don't remember the exact mission that part was from, so I'll double check when I'm back at the museum tomorrow, and I'll be sure to update you in that episode. I'm excited for the SpaceWorks team because they will be restoring the historic Mission Operations Control Room consoles that are currently at Johnson Space Center. During today's visit, we saw some of the consoles that were used in the back rooms that supported the people that worked in the more visible MOCR or Mission Operations Control Room. The consoles that are currently housed at the SpaceWorks facility look and function like the consoles you've probably seen in the movie Apollo 13 or in historical mission footage of the control room. The consoles that will be restored will start arriving from Johnson Space Center later in November, and I should be able to get a look at those consoles as they're undergoing their restoration next time I'm out at the Cosmosphere. Today was jam-packed and an absolute blast, and I've got some more Cosmosphere content coming over the next few days, so make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to see those pictures. It was a great opportunity to tour the SpaceWorks facility, and I haven't shared all of the pictures that I took from there just yet. Earlier this evening, I found out that the Delta II launch I was going to see has been moved to no earlier than November 14th. Obviously, I'm a bit bummed about this change, and I'm deciding what I'm going to be doing for my travel plans over the coming days. I'm probably still going to be flying out to LA just because there's other things to see there besides a rocket launch. I'm just evaluating all of my options for the schedule change. November 6th was a busy day for space history. In 1965, the Explorer 29 satellite, or GEOS-1, the geodetic Earth-orbiting satellite, was launched. A year later, in 1966, the Lunar Orbiter 2 mission was launched on an Atlas rocket. The Lunar Orbiter spacecraft were instrumental for the Apollo and Surveyor missions since NASA needed an accurate map of the lunar surface if they were to land a robotic or human spacecraft on the surface. Lastly, for today, in 1973, the NOAA 3 satellite was launched. This weather satellite studied atmospheric temperatures and cloud cover, among other things. One of the cool things about this spacecraft and about other spacecraft is that it was stabilized by a flywheel. Think of how a fidget spinner moves around and stabilizes itself as it spins. A flywheel is similar in that it uses spinning momentum to control the movements of a spacecraft. Flywheels and control moment gyros are used to control spacecraft without expending fuel. Since you're here, why don't you let me know what you think of the podcast by leaving a review in iTunes. It takes just a minute to do that, and it makes a huge difference because it helps even more people find the show. As always, the show notes have more information on today's episode. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'm always up to chat. You can also connect with me on Facebook. Just search The Space Shot or click the link in the show notes. Tomorrow, I'll be back at the Cosmosphere to record another segment for the next episode of the Cosmosphere podcast. I'm also going to tour the museum and catch a show or two while I'm there. Follow along on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and watch for posts when I'm at the Cosmosphere. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.